eternal.
With the rapid amount of video game movies that are being made for whatever reason, and video game series that are being made for whatever reason, I thought I might just share my fan casting ideas for once, because I'm not going to be able to do this. But you will know what ideas I had in store, just in case. You see, while I was in YouTube limbo for a short amount of time, I was able to make a fan casting of a particular Hulu series that I think would actually work really well, but I don't think anyone has the sense to work on, and I'm not sure if the creator of that video game approves. What I'm talking about in question is Undertale. That's right, I created a whole fan casting while I was out, finding myself and all that stuff. Today we're going to be talking about the casting if an Undertale series, animated series in that fact, would be in development at Hulu. Why Hulu specifically? Well, because that's the most proper place for it. Netflix is already occupied, and don't even get me started on the other streaming service that we will not be naming today. Yeah, we're going to be going through all the casting choices that I've made and talking about whether or not the characters would fit the role or not, and it's gonna be fun. So if you're gonna like this video, go ahead. I won't stop you from not liking the video. So with that in mind, just sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. Yeah, this is a full disclaimer for the video. I did not write a script for any of these at all, so most of these are improvised lines, and I stutter throughout the video, so if that's annoying to you and you think this whole video is annoying, then this video is obviously not for you, my good sir. Enjoy the video. So the first person on our list is Frisk, because, of course, they can go first. And Frisk would be played in this scenario by Christina V if given the chance. And if you're wondering why, well, I don't think I'll show you the voice clips, or maybe I will. I'm not sure what my editing choices are. But yeah, Christina V is the way to go if you're trying to go for a subtle child voice. She would also make for a great narrator for the beginning episode. More on that later, if I'm feeling comfortable about talking about this whole fan-made stuff that I'm currently doing. But yeah, Christina V would be perfect for the role. She can do a child really, really well. I liked her singing voice. I liked everything that she's put out throughout, YouTube, because content-wise, she has a YouTube channel. You can check her out if you want to know how she sounds, and if you think the casting would be right for Frisk in that regard. But yeah, moving on. Now, the second casting would be Flowey, and Flowey would be most likely played by Weird Al Yankovic, because, of course, the voice fits for a psychopathic flower like him, because he's a good guy, and I think he can actually do really well as a talking flower for whatever reason that comes to your mind. Weird Al has that vibe to it, and I'm not sure if I'm gonna show you some clips to kind of prove that, but yeah, he has that vibe to it when it comes to voicing characters. So if he voices Flowey, it would make the most sense, because, well, I mean, Flowey is leaning towards sounding like Weird Al Yankovic himself. I always like Weird Al Yankovic's performances in anything, whether music or acting, because he's he brings life to the characters he plays, and it's kind of hard for him to play a serious character, whereas in this case Flowey is all perceived as all zany and all that stuff, and Weird Al fits that description, all zany and demonic stuff to the character. But yeah, that is the casting for Flowey. Moving on. The next casting on my list would be Toriel, played by Anka Nani Rose, if I said that right, or stuttered so much to say it. Now, the reason why I chose for this to be the right casting voice is because, well, Toriel gives off that vibe of that mother that you never had in your life. The voice is supposed to fit that description because I think that she fits in the African American region. If you don't remember this person that I mentioned, well, maybe Princess and the Frog would remind you who she actually is. I mean, I don't know about this casting, but I mean, it's Toriel, and if you like to hear her sound like this, then be my guest. But yeah, we're moving on from that subject. Now, the next one I'd like to talk about is Sans, and boy, this was a long story for me. I had to contemplate who would be perfect for the role. That was until I landed on Bill Fagerbach. I mean, we can go for that, or we can go for a more suitable option. That'd be myself. My Sans voice is not that good, but with more practice, I can do just the right Sans voice. I don't know. You have to be a genius in order to figure out who would be perfect for Sans, but Bill Fagerbach. Because, well, I mean, he's the one who created the Sans voice to begin with, believe it or not, if you remember that meme.
Maybe it's the way you're dressed. Maybe.
If Bill is somehow still around after all this time, then he'd be the perfect casting choice, and if not, your boy, hit up your boy, I'd be a perfect Sans. Or whatever. Moving on. Alright, now the next one up is Papyrus, and this casting, it's obvious. For those who think he has like a high-pitched voice, for this casting I casted Paul Rubens as Papyrus. That's right, Paul Rubens. Now if you're gonna go against me on this, please remember that he played Ivor in Minecraft Story Mode, and that voice would go perfectly with Papyrus. You think his voice is all high and mighty and like, you know, it goes very, very high standard. But no, I think like this is the most realistic approach if you know that Papyrus has that sort of sinister yet quirky vibe to him. Paul Rubens is a great choice because he is talented in many, many ways, and yet somehow Ivor's voice from Minecraft Story Mode is the perfect example of that for whatever reason. So yeah, if you're against this casting, please be sure to punch me in the face if you feel like it. Moving on. Alright, the next one up is Undyne. Without a question, it's Grey Griffin. I mean, come on, it's kind of obvious. She has to do that tough girl voice all the time. It's kind of an obvious casting when you think about it, and it probably pops up in your head when you're reading her dialogue. But yeah, Grey Griffin is perfect for Undyne. Moving on. Alright, now the next one up is Alphys, and please be warned, Erin Fitzgerald. If you have no idea who she is, maybe look her up, because I have no idea how to describe her work. All I can say is that I know her for some roles, more or less, but I say that she's perfect because, well, she's a multi-voxed person that can actually do a great job in many vocal ranges for whatever reason. Yeah, don't give me that sass talk. I know what I said, and I'm proud of it. But yeah, if she can do like a quirky, nerdy voice, she can definitely do this way better than anyone else in the world. Moving on from this because I'm cringing already thinking about it. Now this next one is a pretty funny choice that I made a long time ago. Keep in mind that I did make this choice. Mechaton, to be voiced by Seth MacFarlane. Now please hear me out on this. Before you talk crap, please hear me out on this. It is a perfect choice because if you listen to that voice, you can hear a little bit of a mature Seth MacFarlane. And Seth MacFarlane can actually, well, experiment with other vocal ranges. And if he's able to do this better than anyone else, then I don't know what to tell you. I think Seth's voice would do a great wonders for a homoerotic robot like this one. And frankly, if this thing does happen, I would like to see him cast it as it, to see, like, the amount of memes that would be made, or whatever. I don't know, moving on. Next up is Asgore, and personally, I want him to be voiced by Ving Rhames. You know, the Arby's We Have the Meats guy. And he also voiced Cobra Bubbles in Lilo and Stitch. The reason why I want this is because, well, I mean, he brings up that kingly vibe, right? I feel like he should be able to voice a king really, really well. And excuse my stutter, my many stutters throughout this video. But yeah, Ving Rhames, he can actually do a decent Asgore voice, and if you don't think so, oh frickin' well. Moving on, because I can hear all those Arby's We Have the Meats comments right away. Alright, last for the main casting of this portion is Asriel, voiced by Tara Strong as a kid and Seth Green as an adult. This fits so well because, well, hear me out. Tara Strong is talented. If you have no idea who she is, you're living under a rock for all I care. She can actually do the voice of a kid really well, Timmy Turner being the example. I just hope that the whole confusion of Timmy Turner's voice thing doesn't, trigger something in Nickelodeon when they find out. And Seth Green, he makes a great adult as Asriel, because I can hear that voice whenever he, gets angry and stuff like that. If you have no idea who Seth Green is, you probably have not seen Family Guy and or Robot Chicken. He's been in more projects besides those two, but I feel like those needed to be mentioned. Anyways, these two are perfect for casting Asriel. It's perfect, enough said, moving on. Now, you naturally would probably be confused why I said moving on, even though I said that was the last one. Well, it's not. I actually have other characters marked as other characters, so I'm gonna read through them, power read them, and see what you think. Nabsaluk as Bryce Pappenbrook. The guy you hear in Miraculous all the time, and the other projects besides Miraculous. His voice is perfect for the character. Moving on, the dogs, voiced by Toby Fox. I'm not sure if he can do voice work, but I want to see him do it, for fun. Monster Kid, Aaron Fitzgerald. Again, Aaron Fitzgerald. Mad Dummy, voiced by Tom Kenny, because he's a talented guy. What more do you want from this world other than Tom Kenny? Muffet, Kate Reinders. That girl who voiced the Devil's daughter, Satan's daughter, and from Saints Row, if you remember that. She'd be perfect for that role because, well, honestly, she can nail that better than anyone else in the world. Temmie, I have no freaking clue who would voice Temmie. Like, no clue at all who would voice Temmie. And then we have Gaster, voiced by, if the cards are right, me, because I like doing the character for whatever reason. Like, whenever I used to be so young wanting to play this character, and yeah, I don't know why I cast myself as so many of these characters sometimes. And then we have Kara, voiced by Kathy Cavadini. If you want that, that is. I think Kathy would do a good job as a sociopathic kid. And I think that's the power reads. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Let's get to that ending, please. And that brings us to the end of this video. Now, like I said, these are fan casting ideas from me. I'm not saying that this is actually gonna happen. Like, why would anyone want that to happen? If it did happen, let it be animated. Thank God, let it be animated. And if it's live action, immediately kill it with fire, because it's too soon. I wanted to make this video for a long time explaining the casting choices that I made for each of the characters, if that time actually does come. And I wanted to share it with you all for whatever reason. Hopefully, I get that closure from getting it all off my chest for you guys to just kind of, sit there throughout the video just at awe at my raw casting choices. Considering how I wanted to be both Sans and Gaster, which is very, very embarrassing on my part. But it's a welcome embarrassing nonetheless, because I'm proud to say that I would love to play these guys if I get the chance. In a timeline or a parallel universe somewhere where this is actually acceptable. Hey, a message to all those creators out there. If you do make an Undertale series, please make those episodes hours long and each of them named after the locations in the game. And the genocide route being the second season or whatever. But anyways, as always, this is the end of that video. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe if you like what you see so far. And please feel free to comment what you think is a suitable voice for these characters if they got the chance. And I wouldn't mind if Toby Fox himself commented on my videos, if that's ever gonna happen. But yeah, thanks for watching, see you next time, take care, peace to all you gamers, goodbye. Alright, I'll see you in the next video. Eternal.